the Los Angeles Chargers at 2-2 taking on the Browns that are also 2-2. Both these teams are averaging 50 points per game and tied for sixth in the NFL with both 50 points per game. But it's a tale of two different offenses. You look at the stats here. What's wrong? What are you looking at me for? What's the problem?
I read this in the doc a few times, and I was like, I don't know. That can't be right. There's no way. And what he means,
he said they're both averaging 50 points a game.
Total in the game is what he means. Like through the first four games,
my apologies.
The game is 200 points. And
I was like,
oh, that's what
my
he means.
thing.
I thought he'd say it differently.
The stats my thing. I'll come back on this one. The Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Cleveland Browns here, both 2-2. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites in the game of 47.5-point over under. Both these teams' offense have looked good in different ways, is what I should be saying. You look at the Chargers offense averaging 307 yards per game on the pass. And then on the flip side, the Browns are not passing very well. And it's just two completely different offenses. One good at rushing, one bad at rushing, one good at passing, one bad at passing. With the Chargers defense, we have talked about that so much this season about whether or not they have to prove it. They have to prove that all this talent and that they're the real deal. They haven't looked that great. And one of their biggest weaknesses still is against the rush. Aaron, is this a disaster matchup for the Chargers defense?
It's not a good one. It's not a good one. Cleveland can run the football, and Nick Chubb is the best running back in football. I've said it over the last 3 weeks. I'm convinced of it. He is just the best running back in football, pure runner. And yeah, it's going to be tough for them. The Chargers allow the most yards per carry in the NFL. And we talk about a team that knows who they are. We talk about identity a lot. The Cleveland Browns know who they are, at least right now with Jacoby Brissett. And they've been this way for the past 4 to 5 years. They want to run the football. And they are going to give the ball to Nick Chubb, and they're going to give the ball to Kareem Hunt. And that's not going to change in this game. I think the Chargers in this game have a terrible matchup and actually are in jeopardy of losing it to a Jacoby Brissett-led team because of the style of play. Cleveland wants to get after the passer, which the Chargers want to pass a lot. Their offensive line is banged up, and they want to run the football, and they have the horses in the backfield to run the football. This is not a good matchup for the Chargers. They're on the road. This is one of those games where it's going to look odd because the Chargers are favored on the road, but it would not shock me if Cleveland comes out of this game with a victory.
Yeah, when I was like writing up the preview for this game, I was like, man, this is I want to say this is an even game. Like, I get it. The passing, when you look at Justin Herbert, Jacoby Brissett, it's like they're two different things, but like that rushing attack for the Browns almost makes up for it. It's a game-changing rushing attack, and the Chargers defense against the rush is not good. So it's like it makes up for it. It's almost an even matchup, but the Browns still have Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, and I'm not disrespecting Jacoby Brissett. He's done his job. He's done what he's had to do, but this Browns offense has literally relied so much on the run that they've not needed Jacoby Brissett to do much. AJ, do you think in this game that they can win by just solely relying on the run?
Cleveland Browns? I don't. Well, I do actually, because and we've seen this before. I mean, you think about a couple years ago when the Green Bay Packers didn't have a good run defense and people would just run through them and you'd win games like that. But more so for the Browns, this is what they do. They've beaten teams by just running the ball. Jacoby Brissett can manage a game to his liking. I'm not saying they're going to run 100% of the time, but if they're running 60-40, 65-35 and making the passes when necessary, Jacoby Brissett is a good enough quarterback to get the ball to Amari Cooper in a 3rd and 9 situation, to get the ball to Donovan Peoples-Jones on a switch up and throw the ball deep downfield and let him do what he does best. And then Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt just attack this rush defense. If the Chargers can bulk up and show that they know they're coming in to run the ball and find ways to apply the pressure to the run, it may become a little bit more difficult. But I also think this is going to be an offensive battle because on the other side of the ball, Justin Herbert is going to do what he does best, and he's going to be airing it out to these guys and scoring and keeping this defense on their heels as well. So it's going to be very tough, and I do believe that it's going to come down to who can convert on 3rd down a lot, and that will have to be the Browns. And if you are in those 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7 situations, it may be harder to just do it with the run. But I do think they're capable of it because of how bad this rush defense is and how good the Cleveland Browns rushing offense is.
Yeah, I don't like this matchup for the Chargers at all.
It's
I
tough.
have the Browns.
say-
I have the Browns winning in this game.
Jacoby Brissett is top 10 in QBR this year. He knows what he is, and he's been really, really efficient. I think we look at Jacoby Brissett, we say game manager, but Jacoby Brissett is probably a little bit more than just a game manager. I think he does. We've talked about him in the past about his size, his ability to throw the football. It's a little bit better than that average quarterback that you just come in and you're a little bit worried about. He has arm strength, really good in short yardage. And AJ mentioned like being able to hit Amari Cooper for 3rd and 9, which what's so great about that is they're rarely in 3rd and long situations because their running game is so good. So it allows that offense to be flexible and do different things. The Cleveland Browns' strengths are the Chargers' weaknesses, and the Chargers' strengths are the Browns' strengths. And I think that Chargers love to throw the ball. Cleveland's they're in the top half of the league in defending against the pass. Plus they have a pass rush against a weak O-line. I think this is a prime spot for another upset because they're not favored for the Cleveland Browns. And I'm with you, Vinny. I think this is a matchup nightmare for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think the Browns win this game. I'm going to say Browns 24-21. I think it's a closer game, and I think the Browns end up getting it because they're going to control the ball more. They're going to take it out of Justin Herbert's hands, and they're going to end up winning in the end. They're at 24-21. AJ, what's your pick?
I actually was a little bit more surprised with that offensive line of the Chargers last week. 39 pass attempts, only allowed the 1 sack, and that was without Rashawn Slater. If Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett aren't in this game, they weren't able to really get after Atlanta, and that may play into the favor of Justin Herbert. This is a bad matchup, but I think the Chargers are going to get it right. I also have a close game, but I'm going to take the Chargers 27-24.
Myles Garrett will most likely be he returned to practice today, so he should be good to go.
Yeah, I think he plays, but who knows about Jadeveon Clowney? You got Myles Garrett. It's like having 2 Jadeveon Clowneys there. So I think it's a close game as well, but I do have the Browns in this one. I also think it's a low-scoring game. I think the final here is 23-20. Cleveland gets the late win.
All right, there you go. We're all on the Browns train here, even though the upset alert.
Chargers.
No,
you picked the Chargers? Sorry.
Okay. Do you actually pay attention?
No, I don't. I really don't. I actually don't. It's like when I talk to my wife, I normally just listen. Like I listen to keywords and phrases. I listen to keywords and phrases. That's what it is.
Those are counter.